Hey everybody, Ian here with Miller Garage, and today we are working on the inside of the Airstream, and we are doing some insulation and putting the walls back up. So, as you can see, I already have some of the walls up, and I've been working on this and getting the insulation and everything, and so we're going to continue this project today. I want to talk about the insulation that I'm using, a little bit on why. I'm not going to go crazy into detail there. There's, so many things on forums and Facebook and all that kind of stuff out there on which is the best insulation and all of that good stuff. And so you can go read that if you really want, the scientific comparisons and breakdowns and all of that. But long story short, we're using mineral or rock wool, and it's kind of similar to the pink insulation, but it's made with a different material. Honestly, it's a little bit denser, and it kind of holds its shape a little bit better. And it's supposed to be really good with sound deadening as well, and so it helps in that regard. I don't know exactly the R value on it. I think the 3-inch pieces are like 15 or something. I don't know. You can look it up. I was not super, concerned about getting all the exact specs and whatnot. And some of the benefits are that it's really easy to work with. You can just cut it with a knife and it'll hold its shape, like I said, and you can put it where you want it. It is not very expensive. I think I'm going to end up having about $250 worth of it in the whole Airstream, maybe $300. So it's not really that bad. And it's also, it's not super itchy whenever you're working with it. Like you work with fiberglass, and you pretty much want to die when you're done because it's just all over you and you itch like crazy. But this stuff is not bad. And then also it is like mold and mildew and water resistant, and it's actually pest deterrent as well. Bugs and mice and all that kind of stuff don't like this stuff for whatever reason. I don't know whether it's something that's in it that repels them, but it has that. So all good things. So also, whenever you're doing this, something you gotta have is some contact adhesive. I'm using the 3M High Strength 90 contact adhesive, and this is for, any material. You can use it on metal, which is why I got it, and it works really great, especially whenever you start to work your way up to the curve, because this stuff doesn't just like stay very well. It likes to just fall off. So this will help keep it in place while you get the walls on. Not very expensive either. And then a knife just to cut it. You can just cut right into it with it, and it makes the installation a lot easier. So we are gonna start getting to work. The first thing I'm gonna do is work on this section over here. I'm gonna get all the insulation in, and then I have the panel that we're gonna put back in. I am using some of the original panels, and in the front section, which is behind the camera, is going to have all new bare aluminum, and then the game plan is to paint everything. I'll see how it looks with the front in just aluminum, and we'll kind of evaluate, maybe we want to keep that just bare. I know that it's a lot harder to maintain. You can get scratches and all that kind of stuff easier. So we'll just kind of see when we get there. If I were to do this again, which may happen, I would definitely get all new aluminum and just start that way. This stuff, it fits the place again, but with how much things are changing, you have tons of holes from all the cabinets and all that stuff beforehand, and depending on how you build it, there's a good chance that those are going to be exposed, and so you got to just fill them with rivets. And then somebody had painted over some sections, and so I had to clean these and strip the paint off, and I couldn't imagine. I'd done a video on stripping the vinyl, and I can't imagine doing all of this, stripping all of this. To the people that have, I don't see how you did it. I was done after like 2 panels, and I was like, forget this. I would just buy all new aluminum. If you really want the bare aluminum, spend the $2,000 or however much it would be. Get the stuff. I mean, you're going to spend almost that much in chemicals anyway to strip that stuff. So yeah, hindsight is always 20/20. Next time, all new aluminum. But we're going to make this look really great. I'm not really concerned about you know, how it's going to look. I know it's going to turn out awesome just because most of the exposed places don't have all the holes and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, so we're going to get to it. And of course, right as I went to go put the panel up and do that part, the camera battery died. So, but I am sorry that we missed that one little part. So, one pro tip: when you're putting the walls up, make sure that you know where all of your electrical is going to go. You have the wires ran, and you put holes where you want stuff to come out. So we're going to have outlets coming out on top of the counters. They're going to be going down both sides. Then we're going to have a fridge outlet down there, as well as the 220 espresso machine outlet, which is the big orange cable sticking out there. So the next thing I need to do is trim this section over here, because from here forward is going to be new aluminum, and so I need to cut that, and then I need to get a few more pieces of aluminum to finish up the front section. So we're just going to cut that, and then I'm going to continue putting insulation up, and then we'll, it's probably going to be within the next day or two. Like I said, I got somebody coming over to put the final pieces up, and then we'll have the interior walls mostly in. So I'm excited. It's coming together, and then we'll paint them and get started on building out the cabinets and all the interior. So, coming along. All right, and there it is. And then the new ones are going to overlap over this. I may even, depending on width, I may go over this stuff too, just to make sure that stuff's covered up. I have some other ideas because the fridge vent is here, and so I'm going to need to do something right here, and I don't want to just patch it, but I have some cool ideas. I'm not going to share them yet because it's a surprise, but it's going to look awesome. So, yeah. as you can see, the walls are now pretty much done. I still have a few areas that I have to do a little bit of paint touch-up on, as well as there's a spot back there I need to patch, and then I got to put in that final piece back there. But I was needing to find some of those speed nuts for the Airstream letters. They were kind of a pain. I found a few places that had them, and I bought everything they had, and then I had to wait for them to restock, and I tried to order, and took a minute. So that's going to go in pretty soon, as well as just a few little things. But other than that, the interior skins are finished. I have the spots where the air conditioners, I don't know if you can see that, but where the air conditioners are, and then the remaining open spots in this center section, I'm going to build basically like a wooden, I don't want to say like box, but it's going to come off the roof about 1.5 to 2 inches, and then just be basically a flat piece that's going to have the lights built into it. So that's going to be kind of how the top is finished out. And if you saw last week's video, I did the end caps. So these videos are kind of somewhat backwards in progression, but I just hadn't finished shooting this one, and I did that one, so you know how it goes. But it's pretty much, like I said, the skins are pretty much done. If you have any questions about it, I know I didn't, show as much of the overhead stuff. Those can be tricky just because it's, has the curve, has more of a curve in it. My advice is get 1 or 2 additional people to help you. I've seen people do it by themselves by basically taking a string and tying it around it and tightening it to where it does bow. That can work. Still, you gotta do some tricks to do it by yourself. It's a lot easier just to get some help with doing that. And we got the, I don't know, yeah, you can kind of see it. We got the service door skinned, and really the only stuff that I got to do left for the walls to be done is just I got to get the paint, the old paint off of the window trim frames, and repaint those, as well as just some final things, just a few more things. And then as you can see, there's quite a bit of stuff that's been done in here since the beginning of even like in just this video. So obviously stuff is kind of I'll shoot and then as you can see, finish up once I've done a few other things. So we're gonna have more stuff. We're gonna go over the cabinet soon, as well as in the back we got our electrical closet. We're gonna talk all about that and what we're doing for the electrical system in here, because it is unique with having the 220 for the espresso machine. So we got more stuff coming. I would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. Always appreciate people following along with us. We got more Airstream, more of this build, more of future builds, as well as other projects. We got the Land Rover that's going to be one of the next projects we're working on, as well as I have some other really cool stuff that's coming up. So stay tuned, follow us on social, and I would love it if you would like or comment. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to ask. I know that this wasn't quite as in-depth, but we have just so much stuff going on with Baby and Airstream and all of that. So I'm really trying to continue to create content, but I'm, doing the best I can in the insanity of life. So you guys have a great week, and we will see you next time.